Welcome to the podcast. I have my good friend Kenny from Manta. For people that have been living under a rock, what the heck is Manta doing?
Quick disclaimer, we have only for informational purposes, and any views expressed by anyone on the show are solely our opinions and not financial advice. Jax and our guests may hold positions in the companies, funds, or projects discussed. Please do your own research.
Yeah, so we are a general purpose L2. We are the largest modular L2 in the Ethereum ecosystem.
We've been talking a lot about decentralized AI. How does that fit into what you guys are trying to build? Is there a specific vertical? Are you guys focused on DeFi? Are you focused on decentralized AI? What are you guys specifically doing at Manta?
Yeah, I think like as a general purpose infrastructure, we focus on a lot of different verticals. But at the end of the day, I think the core focus is all about usability. And so the modularity comes in because that delivers a different level of scalability. So I'll give you an example. Do you remember like inscriptions? There was like this whole craze, started in Bitcoin and went over to the L2s and all that stuff. I mean, we started seeing all these L2s halt their block production time because it was just too much inscription. But Manta didn't, because Manta had really high throughput because we were using Celestia by that time. And so the reason why I bring this up is because I think one of bottlenecks for usability is that high scalability, high throughput, and for AI especially, because you're not just doing blockchain transactions, you're starting to use on-chain data, you're starting to actually store data, and this is the type of stuff that needs that high throughput.
Now, when you said Celestia, it just instantly triggered Lewis from Gelato. So would you guys be considered a sovereign rollup, or is this completely a different concept?
That's a really good question. And we've probably been categorized in, 20 different buckets already, because we use OP stack, we're, settling to Ethereum, and we're using Altlayer with Celestia. And so I just like to say we're in the other category, just for simplicity. But we are Solidity based, so any type of EVM application can deploy on us.
Now, when you're talking, because like obviously there's a lot of L2s out there, there's like a big fight for one, mindshare, and two, developers. Like, what is your pitch to developers looking out there? They're like, I have no idea where to build.
I think a lot of L2s tend to compete on technology. My personal take, our team's sort of stance is that technology is great, but it only goes so far. And as an infrastructure project, I think you have a responsibility to your ecosystem to make sure your projects are successful. So a lot of what we do is more so focused on the growth side for the ecosystem projects. And I think that's where we stand out. I've actually had a lot of projects that are in our ecosystem tell me, hey, you're the only ecosystem out there where there's more of your team members in the group chat than my team members, right? Because we really emphasize that focus on helping you grow, helping you scale, whether it's thinking about investor networks, whether it's thinking about go-to-market strategies, joint campaigns, all that jazz.
Talk to us a little bit about like what you guys do. So you're talking about go-to-market. Is it you guys take a look at their pitch deck and you're like, hey, we can help you connect you with VCs? Or is it like, hey, we're going to put you in touch with our DevRel and we're going to make it super easy for you to build on Manta? Like, how do you guys essentially approach that?
All of the above. Yeah. All of the above.
That's how
they raised about $1 billion in TVL through our network. And we were able to plan the go-to-market strategy for them and everything. And just through, Manta network alone, they were able to reach that level of TVL within probably 2 months. And so, that's a really strong emphasis on how we kind of do things in order to focus primarily on how do we make our ecosystem projects successful.
Absolutely. And now we are at a decentralized AI conference. So talk to us a little bit about like, are you buying into the agentic future? Are you saying like, they're just ChatGPT wrappers? Like we don't really care that much about AI. Where's your guys' stance?
We explore a lot of different AI projects, right? Just because, again, we're general purpose. We see AI projects coming to us all the time. My personal stance in this space around AI, decentralized AI, is something that isn't too much explored, right? Projects like OpenLedger definitely touch on this subject because they're all about data collection, data synthesis. But I think one intersection of AI and blockchain is universal basic income. Because I think if you look 10 years from now, 20 years from now, what's the role of humanity in this new age of technology, in this new age of AI? I think data collection is always going to be a huge thing, because the more data, the more variety, the better AI models you can build, right? And that data collection can come in the form of incentives through universal basic income. And I think that is a great facilitation between building better AI models and having, sustainability for humanity.
Absolutely. So I think a lot of people listening to this, and sometimes when we talk too much about AI, they get a little spooky. Talk to us a little bit about like what's the future that you think is it exciting, or do you feel a little bit scared by AI yourself?
I think it's transformative. I personally think it's going to be fairly painful, right? Like, I mean, just looking at the macroeconomics, you see a lot of jobs, people being laid off, and a lot of them not being hired back, right? And that's just kind of the trend that we're seeing in a lot of developed nations right now, because they're taking advantage of all these technologies that will ultimately just become cheaper, faster, better. In the long term, I think the transformative nature will give us a lot more opportunity, because just philosophically, I think that, you know, when you think about capitalism, which is universal now, you tend to focus more about your job, your professional life, your title, and all these other things. But I think we're kind of shifting towards a period where we're starting to think more about, like, you know, what is life, humanity, what's our role in all of this? And ultimately, I think we're going to come out with a better answer.
Absolutely. Now, we always have one final question for everyone. We are always looking for cool startup ideas because we have a lot of builders, a lot of aspiring founders who listen to the podcast. What is an area of the Web3 ecosystem or otherwise that you feel like is not well explored, or you feel like has a very good runway?
Not well explored, universal basic income. I think that is a huge problem right now. And again, right, being able to leverage data collection for universal basic income, because there is value in that data for AI models. I think that's a very interesting area to explore. And so if anyone's building that or interested in building that, would love to chat with you more about it.
Absolutely. And where can they reach you?
On Twitter, I am super anonymous K, all one word, and then the letter K. Or you can email me at kenny@manta.network.
Absolutely. Well, let's continue building the future.
Cheers, sir.